Okay, morning everyone. So I want everyone from years 3 to 6 to have their own Google site, and I'm going to show you how easy it is, and I'm going to do it in as little time as possible. I'm going to put a timer up, and you'll see how quickly it is to create your own Google site. Okay, so when you put in sites.google.com, you will come up with this page here. Now, there's an option here that says New Google Sites. If you click on that, it's a much more intuitive, easier version to use than the previous one. Okay, so you can see here that I've got a few sites that I've worked on in the past. This is my current EIT one here. I haven't got a lot on there at the minute, but I will have. I'm going to create one from scratch so you can see just how quickly you can put your own site together. Okay. I say quickly, it's obviously it depends how quickly the internet wants to load up this site itself. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is give your page a title. So you can call it anything, you can call it Wonderful Work. I mean, that's the most lamest title in the world, but you understand just pretty much how easy it is, okay? Now, if you want to, you can change how it looks by making it a bit smaller. Obviously, title's the biggest there. That always looks pretty good as well. Here, I'd advise you just to put a site name. So again, you can put My Wonderful Work or My ePortfolio. And this is where really you're going to keep a lot of your work that you do that you're really proud of, okay? Put work on it that you think, yeah, I worked really hard on that. It doesn't always have to look the best. I mean, obviously that's a nice thing to do if you're going to invite your parents in to look at it, whatnot. But it's a place where you're going to put work that you're really proud of and that you've done really well on, okay? So you can then, if you want to, change the background. You can either upload your own or you can select an image that Google offer you. So if we look at the gallery, you can see here there are some quite nice images. Coffee is always a good thing to have in the background for mine. Excellent. Okay. And again, you can change the way it looks like that. So you can actually change the size of the title. The bigger it is, the more it stands out. But then obviously you haven't got as much space to write underneath it. Okay. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to put a text box in. Okay. This website will showcase my work, including, and then tell people what they're actually going to be seeing, because this is your home page. This is the page that they're going to come onto when you give people, like your family members, your URL. Okay, so this website will showcase my work, including my writing, amazing maths work, EIT for obvious reasons, art, etc. And enjoy. I can put that on a separate line so it stands out a bit. Okay, and again, that's quite small, so you might want to make your work stand out a bit. You could make it as big as a title, does stand out, or even a heading. I'm going to make mine a title because I quite like it big. You can also change how it looks by centralizing it or putting it to one side or the other. Yeah, so that's it so far. Okay, so that's the home page. And again, you can change things like the way it looks. You can see that you can change background color, etc. And you can play about with that as well, okay? You can also delete it if you don't like it. All is good with the world. Okay, so now to the important stuff, okay? You've got different options here. You've got insert, pages, and themes, okay? So I'm going to click on page. So at the minute, the only page I've got is my home page. I'm going to add another one by clicking onto there, all right? And the name of my page, this is where you might want to divide your website into different sections. So you might want to do it quite traditionally, like English, math, science, so subject. You might want to do it slightly differently. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to press done. So now you can see that I've got two pages. I've got my home page and I've now got a page for English. Okay, but obviously English is quite a big subject. So what I might want to do is if I click on these three, you get some more options down here. And what I would do is add a subpage. Now within English, you might want to have a subpage for your writing. And if I go on to English again, you might want another subpage for something like things that you're doing with reading, like book reviews. Really good place to put reviews on books that you really enjoy, that you want to promote, that you want to share with others, okay? Fantastic. All right. So I'm going to go back to my my writing page, and I'm going to go to Insert, okay? And here, this is where you can start to put your work in as well. So I'm going to go to my drive, and I am going to select a document that I was working on, a Google Doc or a slide or whatever. If I just go down a little bit, let me see if I've got something that I can put on. It might be some plans. Okay, so I'm going to put on an ebook from my year ones a couple of years ago. Okay, so you can see that I've just selected a folder, and it doesn't matter what file that you want to put on. It's just very simply one selected and insert. Okay, now you can see that it automatically makes space for that here. So then this is where you can change up, you can swap it over, you can put it in the middle, you can put it to the right if you'd like. You can see that it's like the sections over there. Just guide you along so you can see where you're actually putting it. Okay. Now, what I think would be quite a nice thing for me to do now, and again, you can do this or you don't have to, is if I put in a text box, at the minute, it's underneath. I don't really want it there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to move it up. And if I'm really clever, I'm going to grab it. So you can see what I did was I grabbed it by the dots that are there, and I want to put it beside it, like this. Okay? So now when I'm typing up about it, this is my ebook, all about Arctic life. I produced it in my EIT lesson. And tell me why you're proud of it. I'm really proud of it because I found it difficult to spell some of the words, and the end product looks great, if I may say so myself. Okay, so now, again, that's quite small, so I've gone to normal text. I might produce it as subheading text. I might give it heading text so it stands out a little bit more. Brilliant. And again, see if I can make it stand out a little bit more like that. It's entirely up to you to play about with that. Your style is going to be very different to mine, very different to the next person's as well. Okay? So again, that's in writing. That's what I want to put on. So again, very simply, inserting. Could be an image that you insert, could be a file from Google Drive, like a Google Doc or a slide or Sheets. You might even have something uploaded yourself to somewhere online that you want to embed the URL in as well. And again, you can do things like change the layout. I'll leave that entirely up to you. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my pages, and I'm just going to click back on home. Okay, so when you have created enough pages and sub-pages that you're happy with and you're starting to fill it out, this is where you need to consider how to be safe. Because at the minute, this is just in your Google Drive. Nobody can see it because you haven't published it to the web. When you're ready to publish it to the web, you need to think about a few things, okay? You need to think about keeping yourself safe. Because if you publish it to the web, there's a certain setting that will just leave it out for everybody in the world to see, which is fine, but obviously you want a bit more control than that, okay? So let's go to publish. Now, when you press publish, you don't automatically send it onto the web, okay? You need to make a few changes in order to be able to do that, okay? So if you look here, the website address, the URL is this, and it's sites.google.com/kentcollege.ae/my-e-portfolio, because you can't have any spaces in there. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to see if I can put something like my name. So I'm going to put G. Lavelle. I might already have one like that. Oh, no, you can see the tick. So automatically, it works. Okay, if you don't get a tick, if something comes up, let me just see if I can find one that hasn't come up before. No, that comes up as well. Typical. All right, so I'm going to change it to my name again. Now, At the minute, the only people that can see my site is anyone at Kent College, Dubai. I'm going to click on Manage because, for example, my mum, my dad, brothers and sisters, they may not have a Kent College account, okay? So you can see here the draft, specific people can edit. That's really only me, okay? Publish, this is the one you want to change. If I change that, okay, I'm going to click on specific people can view when published. And the reason for that is because I have control over who I want to invite in. Whoever I do invite, they're the only ones that can see my website. So again, I'm thinking mum, dad, family, maybe some aunties and uncles across the world, okay? And press save. Okay. So you now see it says publish, specific people can view, change, oops, try that again. This is where you invite people. So publish, specific people can view, invite people, and this is where then I would put their email addresses. So my mum's email address, my dad's, you understand, you get the point, okay? You can even add a message saying, hey, look at my fantastic website. Thanks. Much love. Kiss, kiss. Beautiful. Okay. And that's when you would send it as well. All right. So I'm going to cancel that now because I don't want to send it to anyone. But you guys will want to do that. Okay. So now when you're ready, remember your website has to look quite good, but it doesn't have to be finished because you're constantly going to be adding to it. Throughout the year, you are going to be adding to your website, okay? You're going to find 20 minutes, half an hour in the week. That time may be in the morning just before registration or just after lunch or 10, 15 minutes when you think, oh, I've got nothing to do. Oh, yeah, I can upload work to my website. Remember, if work's in your books, you can take photos, take video, vlog, blog, anything you want to, you can put on this website, okay? And when you're ready, you press publish. And it's just publishing now. And the last thing I'm going to show you is what it looks like to people who don't have the editing rights like you, okay? So if I click on preview, it gets rid of everything and it shows you what it's going to look like on a large screen like a computer or a laptop, okay? So if I go to English, it's on my homepage. If I go to English, I'm going to go to writing. And hopefully it will come up like this as well, okay? Now the last thing that you need to do, and I did say the previous thing was the last thing, but the last thing you need to do is, if I go back to my site, anyone who wants to come and look at your website has to also have access to the work and the documents that you put on. Okay, so what you want to do is go to Google Drive, new, folder, no, not folder upload, even, a new folder, and you want to call it something along the lines of website work, okay, and create. See, I've already got one here, work for website, but I just created a new one just so you know what it looks like. In this is where, at the minute it's empty, but this is where you're going to copy all of the documents that you put onto your website, okay? So if I go back again, what you want to do is you want to go to share. And you're going to give people access rights, okay? So if you go to advanced, okay, at the minute, this is only private to you. So if anyone accessed your website, they wouldn't be able to look at the work because they don't have access to the work. We need to change that, okay? And we're going to click on the one that says anyone with the link, okay? I'm going to save. And that will automatically say can view only. We don't want them to change your work, we just want them to look at it. So anyone with the link, press save. Done. And then any work that you put in, for example, that ebook that I put on my website, I'd have to put into this folder in order for people to see it outside of my Google Drive. So I'm going to click on back on writing. So now you can see that you've got large screen. If people are looking at it on an iPad or a Samsung tablet, or if they're looking at it on their phone, that is what they're going to see. Okay, so the more you put on, the more they'll scroll down. I hope that helps. Any problems or anything, just give me a shout. Give your teacher a shout. Awesome. I can't wait to see loads and loads and loads of great Google Sites. Look at that, less than 15 minutes. Not bad.